He knows. He did this whole thing of like underground nuclear bunkers. Like he went to the bunker that we've talked about when we were talking about the Denver airport.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You know that one that's in Colorado. He got access to it.
What is this guy into?
He's an asset at this point.
I think he is.
I mean, he wasn't allowed to film a lot. Like they kept on saying, okay, you can't film this part.
How do you get that clearance? That's what I'm saying. They have to be contacting.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do. We watch the most scary and creepiest videos that's gonna make us question everything in our reality. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Let's seek the truth.
Crazy things that are happening in the world right now. This is not actually a house on fire. It is Halloween decorations from a family in South Carolina. And as you can imagine, many people are calling 911 to report it. China is in the middle of developing contact lenses that actually will give you true night vision. The AWS crash that caused most of the internet to go offline had smart beds that were overheating and getting stuck upright thanks to the loss of their connection to their apps. A new survey says 95% of Americans have heard of the First Amendment and that 90% of them agree that it is important, but less than 10% of Americans can name the 5 freedoms it protects. California is about to stop using coal completely as a power source. The World Health Organization changed their definition of obesity this year, and it means that now 70% of Americans are technically obese, when it was only 40% just last year. Smucker is suing Trader Joe's because they're saying that Trader Joe's new PB&Js are too similar to Uncrustables.
Man says 60% of the people walking around this earth are not actually human.
Let y'all know right now, I'm spiritually inclined. I have a soul. I'm as real as they come, bro. I live in the city. I see thousands of people walk by me every day, and I can tell y'all right now, 60% of them is not all human. They is not all human, bro. I'll be like, yo, what's good? How you doing? They'll be like, and keep walking. Like, yo, what's good with you, bro? There's no way you what? You from the other side. You got a zipper on your back, bro. Turn around, bro. Let me see your fucking back, bro. A lot of these people is not human. They're not, bro. There's no way acting like that. People are weird. I'm telling you, it's like they've never been greeted by a fellow human being. Like, I'm telling you, bro, there's no way, cuz, like, I see enough people all day, every day. You got your normal people, that's good. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It sounds awful like he's describing the movie They Live. It's an 80s movie directed by John Carpenter, the same guy who did Halloween. But if you love conspiracies, this is a great movie to watch. It sounds exactly like what he's saying as well. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
This animatronic has been sitting in this bathwater abandoned for over 11 years. Let's talk about it. This is the track for the dark ride that used to be for Brer Rabbit, which is what this ride was, and this is disgusting. It's in Wales in the UK, and all of the animatronics in here are rotting, and this one in particular that's submerged in this bathwater that looks like chocolate milk is haunting my nightmares. Here's some other photos. This dude is sitting on the toilet for all of eternity. That must be embarrassing. God, there's something so off-putting about these. Apparently the only way into the ride, which urban exploration people use, do not do this, but you have to go through this, like, area in, like, the woods, in the middle of nowhere to get to this. Ugh! I think this is what Bro looked like when he was functional, because there's, like, the bubbles and all of this. But here's another photo of it abandoned. God, this is so creepy. I hate this. Watch this little urban exploration video that I saw, and let me know what you're thinking. And what do you think about this ride, and does this scare you to know that this is somewhere in the middle of the dark, in the woods, just this animatronic sitting in water like this. This is gross.
Check it out. I don't know why they just don't shut down these animatronics that are like broken down, bro. Why did they just leave it there, man? They just try to save money, bro.
So while most of us were distracted with elections and the government shutdown, there is a major update to 3i Atlas. And what do I mean by that? NASA will be releasing images and data on 3i Atlas. In my last video, where I updated you on 3i Atlas, I told you that Representative Anna Paulina Luna sent a letter to acting NASA Director Sean Duffy. And in that letter, she wanted Sean Duffy to get with NASA and release the images that they have and all information regarding 3i Atlas. And NASA responded to Representative Luna. In a statement she released on X, Anna Felina Luna goes on to state, just had a good conversation with NASA regarding 3i Atlas. As soon as the government reopens, they'll be releasing images, data. Unfortunately, due to bureaucracy reasons, they cannot until then. So does this confirm that NASA acknowledges 3i Atlas and the strange activity of 3i Atlas? So I guess my question to you is, do you believe that NASA will release all the information they have on 3i Atlas, including images of 3i Atlas? Or is this just another stall tactic? And do you think they're actually hiding something? Do you still think we have something to be concerned about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Here's some...
You guys really think NASA's gonna release those pictures, bro? Anything involving space, man. If it's like that, really, if something big goes down, you really think they're gonna let the public know? Out of all of history, man, think about it. That's very unlikely.
One of the craziest coincidences in history, part 3. Many people have caught on to the fact that Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy have mind-blowing similarities in their lives. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th U.S. President, was elected to Congress in 1846, and John F. Kennedy, the 35th U.S. President, was elected to Congress in 1946. Lincoln was later elected President in 1860, while Kennedy was elected President in 1960. Both presidents had a particular concern with civil rights, and both of their wives lost a child while living in the White House. Both presidents were also shot on a Friday, and both were shot in the head. Lincoln was shot at a theater named Ford, while Kennedy was shot in a car called Lincoln, which was made by Ford. They were both succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808, while Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. The assassins' names who killed the two presidents were both composed of 15 letters, and both assassins even died before their trials. There are so many similarities between these presidents that many people think this is more than a coincidence, but something far more.
I never knew that.
I low-key find it very weird that during the times where people travel the most, which is, holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, we would start to have a bunch of traveling issues, a bunch of plane problems. Once again, y'all remember last year around the same time, going into the new year as well, there were so many plane crashes. Last year, it didn't have anything to do with a government shutdown. This year, it's the plane crashes plus the government shutdown. There's minimal air traffic control. Anyone who's a former air traffic controller or who is one now but they're not working because of the government shutdown is saying that people should not fly. Now is the worst time to fly. We are seeing, within the last few weeks, we have seen so many different plane crashes. We've seen so many different things happen at the airport that is an anomaly in normal time. And all of this is due to the government shutdown. But also we have seemingly things that are sabotaging, as you saw with the UPS plane crash, things that are sabotaging people's travel. Now, I don't know if this is a form of population, but it sure seems like it could be. Air traffic controllers are saying that they wouldn't fly right now, then I would probably err on the side of not flying. I understand you don't want to live your life in fear, and then whatever happens, I get it. But it's one thing when it's almost blatant. You know what I mean? But yes, God did not give us a spirit of fear. However, he did give us a spirit of common sense, right? And so when you look at something and it doesn't seem right, you probably should kind of back away from it.
You've got one of these in your house, you're being listened to right now. Many people genuinely believe Alexa and these sort of speakers are actually spyware. Now, of course, there's no proof that they're spyware, but there is proof that they're constantly listening to you. Of course, if you have an Alexa, you'll know, even if it's not playing and you then suddenly say, Alexa, it's then going to turn on. Yeah, it just randomly comes on. And this is documented. It literally says online, Alexa is always listening. That's the key bit. Now, many people have reported some pretty scary things happening with their actual device, with it turning on randomly at 3 a.m. and start talking back, but no one was talking. Now, it doesn't mean that it's spyware. It doesn't mean that someone is always physically listening to you, but the device is. This device is always listening And what does it do with the data and the recordings? That's what we're probably never going to know.
Of course, GTA 6 has been delayed again, y'all. I'm telling y'all, they waiting for the ship to come back at this point. I'm not understanding why they just don't tell people that it won't come out until 2028. Just leading people on. And for what? To be lied to? If y'all came out and just said the game's gonna come out in 2028, people would not be so upset. The simple fact that y'all keep putting out specific dates and not sticking to it and just delaying it, that's what got people fucking mad. Or they just came out from the beginning and said, this not coming out until 2028, people would have already accepted it like, damn, okay, we gotta wait. But y'all say the date, and now y'all keep changing. Rockstar, get this shit together.
Speaking of what,
Bro, that GTA 6 delay, bro. It's kind of crazy about how so many people, bro, I just like waiting for GTA 6, man. When that game comes out, bro, I heard they spent like $1 billion to even make that game, bro. I wonder how much it's gonna make in its lifetime. I'm calling it's probably gonna make over like 10 billion, bro. That's how much people have been waiting for GTA 6, man. And I don't know if it's going to get delayed again, bro. Comment down below, man, if you think it's going to get delayed again.
Mr. Beast knows he did this whole thing of like underground nuclear bunkers. Like he went to the bunker that we've talked about when we were talking about the Denver airport.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You know that one that's in Colorado? He got access to it.
What is this guy into?
He's an asset at this point.
I think he is.
I mean, he wasn't allowed to film a lot. Like, they kept on saying, okay, you can't film this part.
How did he get that clearance? That's what I'm saying. They have to be contacting them. What did he say about the bunker?
You could literally drop the most powerful nuke on top of it, and it would not destroy it.
You know they have one.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have one.
They have a subway in there.
What?
I said, could you imagine being a subway worker and you just have to go to this underground bunker every day?
Yeah.
What's comforting to know is that if our entire species suffers nuclear winter, subway will help.
That's weird to me. That Subway hasn't gone out of business.
What if they are literally just keeping them afloat just because that's a restaurant in this bunker?
Yeah, we can't get rid of
Like,
it.
they're funding Subway.
Probably no, we're not.
Guys, the world's largest spider web has just been discovered, and it also contains over 110,000 spiders. Ah, napalm. And if that's not wild enough, the webs cover an area of 1,140 square feet. For Americans, that's half a basketball court. Just because what researchers say is significant is they found 2 different species of spiders living there together peacefully. Researchers made this discovery in a sulfur cave along the Albanian-Greek border, and it's now believed to be the largest spider web ever discovered.
The forum must really think y'all stupid. Let's see who fall for their bullshit. They made that whack-ass commercial with Mariah Carey disrespecting the whole world, and now they want to fake apologize. And their apology ain't even an apology. The way they're apologizing is saying that they're having half off everything. So they could disrespect you, but you could still spend your money with them. You ain't hear what I just said, right? They didn't even have the decency to say, you know what, we apologize for the commercial that we made. Mariah Carey didn't have the decency to say, you know what, we apologize for the commercial that we made. What they said was, if you keep buying our product, keep being stupid, we're still message. So we're going to give you 50% off. Oh, and if you didn't see the commercial, look at this shit. Here we go. This shit is whack, too. This shit is whack.
Spoopsy. Who's the thief? Busted. Bad news, Mariah Carey. The elves are striking this year.
Bad news, Mariah. The elves are striking this year. That's how y'all feel about us? I keep telling y'all, we as the consumer have more power than the people that sell the products. All you have to do is not go in them stores, not purchase their shit. And guess what happens? Their companies drop. And they know that. That's why they say, you know what, we're going to give y'all 50% off. And some ladies, some gentlemen buying things for ladies are still going to go in those stores and say, you know what, the commercial wasn't that bad. They wasn't talking to me. Oh, yeah? I'm up.
The African Union wants to throw away our map and replace it with their very own version. Here's the problem. The map hanging in every classroom on Earth is called the Mercator projection. It was designed in 1569 for ship navigation, and it massively distorts the size of continents. Africa looks roughly the same size as the United States on that map. In reality, Africa is 30.2 million square kilometers. The U.S. is 9.1 million. You can fit the United States, China, India, Japan, and most of Europe inside Africa, all at the same time. That's how big it actually is. But for 500 years, the Mercator map has made Africa look small. Europe looks huge. Greenland appears larger than Africa when it's actually 14 times smaller. The African Union is now pushing for the Equal Earth projection, a map that shows continents at their actual sizes. They're demanding it be taught in schools worldwide. This isn't just about geography, it's about identity and pride. When 1.4 billion people see their continent shrunk on every map, that shapes how the world perceives them and how they perceive themselves.
Suburban neighborhood. The day he went missing, he told his girlfriend that he was gonna go to the club. No like missing person alerts, no Amber alerts for this guy. His family was like, he probably got abducted. We're not gonna do anything about this because no one's gonna find him. There's no like reports on him. One day, randomly, 22 years after, this guy's on Google Maps and then he's looking at this little lake with a bunch of suburban houses, right? And then he sees a little car by the side of the lake. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna zoom in, tilt my head a little, and he's like, okay, what the heck? I'm gonna report this to the police. This is weird, right? Yeah. So police come, pull the car out, and it has a bunch of algae, right? They flip the car. In the car, there's still a skeleton with the seat still buckled. Oh shit, that's crazy. This is the sidewalk, and this is the car that's been there for 22 years. Damn, like there's nobody like paid attention to it. Like kids grew up from 0 to 20 probably with that thing in the backyard.
He knew there was a car in the lake, but nobody thought a body was in the car.
You mean Nosy the animatronic isn't even close to finished? Oh, remember Nosy, right? The mysterious animatronic? That feels like the most biggest scam of the century. This dude literally fooled the entire internet. Every week when Citra's been posting an update, it's literally just been Nosy's legs. And when the creator Citra was giving us updates on Nosy, it would be the same pair of legs, or he would just add like another spring to Nosy's legs and everybody would lose their effing mind. But this is where it gets more worse. People were literally in Citra's comments writing full theories about this, making it seem like Nosy was a real-life Freddy Fazbear. And it seemed like Nosy was going to be completed by Halloween. Nosy won't even be ready by next Halloween. But this is where it gets even more insaner. Citra, the creator of Nosy, people are now creaming their jeans because Citra finally has arms. I hate to break it to you guys, but these arms are literally going to take 6 or 7 months to complete because they are massive. And it's gotten to a point that I believe that Citra is just dragging this now on purpose. And this animatronic is never going to be completed. And people saying that he has a torso now. Does this look like a usable torso to you? And everybody's saying that the real Nosy animatronic escaped and he's just using this one as a cover-up. The real Nosy won't be ready for another 6 to 7 years. Do you think Citra's dragging this on purpose?
So humans can now communicate with each other in dreams. This is actually crazy, and why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? So a company called REM Space developed a technology that other dude repeated it. That's insane. Like, imagine getting a message, sending it to someone else, and the guy woke up and he was just like, this was the message that I received, and it was the one that they sent! But also imagine your ex blocking you and then you just show up in their dream. Yeah, that's kind of bad. What do you think on this? Let me know in the comments below.
I told you.
You communicating through dreams now, bro? Nothing is sacred, though. Truly.
That before you were born, you made an agreement called the soul contract. This contract outlines your life's journey, challenges, and relationships. These soul contracts are stored within the Akashic Records, the cosmic library that contains everything that has happened in the past, is happening in the present, or will happen in the future. Imagine an entire blueprint of your life, crafted with the wisdom of your higher dimensional self. This blueprint details all the lessons you need to learn, the people you will meet, and the experiences you must undergo to fulfill your soul's purpose. It's a roadmap designed for your spiritual evolution, guiding you towards growth and enlightenment. But there's even more. These contracts often include karmic relationships, souls you've encountered in past lives with unfinished business to resolve. The challenges you face are not random, they're deliberate choices to foster growth, resilience, and wisdom. Accessing the Akashic Records can reveal these soul contracts, providing insight into life's purpose. Through specific meditation and spiritual practices, this repository can be accessed. What do you think your soul contract would say?
I don't know.
I told y'all, huh? What have I been telling y'all? And it's not like y'all didn't know. Alright, y'all, we've been in a simulation, a matrix, a video game, an overlay, if you will, a fake world that is projecting on top of our world. And now with everything going downhill, everything breaking down, this is the simulation breaking down. Everything's okay in our lives, but the simulation itself is breaking down. And here is Kanye West coming to letting you guys know we are breaking out of this simulation. Check it out.
All unpaid actors in some giant script that we didn't write. Simulation, a 2-year-old jumps on a coffee table and someone says, that's a coffee table, don't jump on that. So it went from being something that makes you feel like Superman, he's got his cape on, to something where, yes, think about this person's like a family member, he doesn't like anyway. He's 2 years old, he doesn't give about a coffee or a table. And he started to like calculate all these things. And by the time you're 40 years old, you've got a wall full of coffee tables. Calculate calculating you into traffic, calculating you into your career choice. Maybe people don't want the kids to get hurt jumping on the coffee table. We are too protective. We always don't want someone to get hurt. Can you imagine me talking to my publicist before I said I'm going to TV again? We get too caught up in the past and what everyone's saying, what everyone's tweeting, and sometimes you just have to be fearless enough to break the simulation.
Truly makes sense is there's the great reset is getting ready to happen. We are getting ready to break the simulation because the simulation is already breaking down. You guys see it. But let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Did y'all know this? Let's get it, y'all. The shit is...
The most disturbing cults in history, Part 1. These are the Anthill Kids, founded by this man, Roch Thériault, in Quebec, Canada. These events took place throughout the 70s and 80s. Using his excellent charismatic skills, he actually convinced a group of people to quit their jobs and follow him, promising unity and equality. He forbid them contact with their family and moved them out to the mountains. He called it Eternal Mountain. In 1978, he prepared for doomsday, having his followers build a town that could save them. He relaxed while they worked and compared them to ants on an anthill. To gain more followers and keep them devoted, he impregnated all female members. They were also forced to wear the same outfit, promoting equality.
What? Manipulators,
Creepy
man.
urban legends
Dangerous.
from each country, Part 4. Mexico, La Lorena. La Lorena is the ghost of a woman who drowned her own children in a river, only to be condemned in the afterlife to search for their bodies. As the story goes, great misfortune comes to those who go near her or hear her frightening cries.
La Lorena. Updating
It's
the
the
lore.
stupidest things bought by billionaires. Saudi Prince Walid purchased a Mercedes completely made out of diamonds. It reportedly costs $48 million, and rumors have said that he charges people $1,000 to just touch it. Mukesh Ambani decided he wanted a personal skyscraper, so spent $2 billion constructing one. He has hired more than 600 people just to take care of the building's upkeep. Sheikh Ahmed wanted to make sure everyone knew this was his private island. That's why he decided to etch his name so large that it could be seen from space. Crazy things happen.
Man, when people have too much money like that, man, that's the definition of too much money. A freaking all diamond BMW. Does that thing even drive? Like, what's the point, man? $1,000 just to touch it? Hell no. And have your own personal skyscraper. That's the one that freaking is the most, man, when he initiated and put his name's initials in the country in the island, bro. That's the definition of too much money, man. That's actually really wild to think about, man.
Happening in the world right now.
What would you do if you had that much money?
Washington, D.C. this summer melted off the head of a wax replica of Abraham Lincoln. The state of Vermont paid this man $175,000 after arresting him for flipping off the state trooper. Ron DeSantis signed a bill making it legal to end the lives of crack bears in self-defense. DeSantis also signed a bill in Florida that makes it illegal to intentionally release balloons. NASA ran an experiment that even if we had 14 years in advance to stop an asteroid, we wouldn't be able to do it. A man wrongly identified his wife in an autopsy, had her cremated, and then found out that she was alive. A naked bike ride was organized in San Antonio, and no one showed up. Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods are opening a sports bar together. A French cyclist was fined after stopping to kiss his wife. A woman is suing the company that she's worked for 20 years for having no work. It was recently found that Americans are taking less vacation than every other country.
This is how healthy
Trying to
your
get that
eyes
bag.
actually are. I'm about to test you to tell you how healthy your eyes actually are.
Okay.
All you have to do is pick one out of the 10 colors that...
Damn it. The one that stood out to me was 7, man, because that was the bright color blue. I think I got some healthy eyes, though, Seekers.
Which animal is most likely to have you knocking on heaven's door depends on your states. And this is part 2, by the way, because I missed a lot of states. Florida, you've got mosquitoes who want to send you straight to God. In Illinois, zombie coyotes are not going to let you finish your bucket list. In Wisconsin, you've got deer, and I also made up a little rhyme for you guys. You'll always remember to stay the fact away from deer. If you see a deer, grab a beer because your end is almost near. Missouri, you've got the slithery serpents from hell, venomous snakes. Vermont, not a fucking clue. And I looked it up, even the CDC don't know what y'all chilling with over there. Next up, South Carolina. Apparently this is Satan's country home because all it says for this state is large mammals. Apparently you all got elk, coyotes, badgers, deer, porcupines, and bison all ready to test your life insurance. New York, you're up next. And man's best Rainbow isn't just a cool title for a movie. Finally, Tennessee, you've got brown recluse spiders. Apparently, one bite from these isn't necessarily fatal. Multiple bites will send you straight to the gulag. So, Tennessee, ciao! If I missed your state in this one of the last, let me know. Send this to anyone you know in any of these states so that they know to stay safe. All with me now. Elon!
What state are you guys in, man? I want to know, man, because I've been seeing, I know we have seekers all around, so. And was y'all state mentioned on that list, man, of those, I guess, animals that try to send you to the afterlife, bro?
Have you ever thought about why mobile gaming sucks? First, most games are free, but you have to watch an ad every 5 seconds of playing the game, which completely ruins it. Second, most free games require in-app purchases to actually get anything done within the game. And third, they all require you to be on Wi-Fi or your cellular data, so you can't even play them everywhere. That's why I want to introduce Aquarium Crush. This game is 100% free with no ads or in-app purchases, and you can play without Wi-Fi or cellular data. I really don't know how they do it, but the goal of the game is to get your fish as big as you possibly can without getting eaten. And trust me, it's not as easy as it looks.
Damn.
These puzzles are unlike any I've seen in other games and is genuinely the perfect way to kill some time. So if you want a game that gives you everything it promises, go to my page and download it right here. That really is
amazing things you have never seen before. This man was walking in his yard and the ground started moving. This isn't fried chicken, it's actually a crystal. This is what the top of Mount Everest looks like. It was so cold that this person's food froze midair.
What?
This is what a cat's tongue looks like under a microscope. It looks like a bunch of smaller tongues. And I bet you've never seen a brick road machine. I always thought people did it.
These are things that over time got too expensive. Number one is fast food. I remember when a McChicken was just $1. Number two, streaming services. A, there's too many, and B, they're getting too pricey. Airbnb, it's probably cheaper these days to get a hotel room. Number four, snacks. An entire bag of chips is like $6. Number five, concerts. It's actually insane how much ticket prices have gone up. Number six, fixing things. Like if your toaster breaks, it's probably cheaper to buy a new one. Number seven, haircuts. I know mine don't look good, but this was $50. Number 8, coffee. It is not uncommon to spend $80 a week. Number 9, theme parks or fairs. You're gonna spend $200. Number 10, restaurants. Aside from tipping 20%, this is still a lot more than it used to be. Number 11, buying a new car. Back in the day, it was way different. Number 12, going to the movies. Tickets ain't bad, but a soda and popcorn get $10. Number 14, going to any professional sports game. Might as well stay home. And lastly, box cereal. It might sound absurd, but $8 for Cocoa Puffs is crazy.
Facts that will mess with your perception of time.
He's spitting, bro.
Mean Girls is more of a classic movie today than The Breakfast Club was when Mean Girls was originally released. Rebecca Black has doubled in age since Friday was released in 2011. This is what AI video looked like just 1 year ago. And this is what AI video looks like now. Clint Eastwood's parents would not have been able to celebrate the birth of their son with a can of beer. That's because Clint Eastwood was born in 1930 and canned beer wasn't even a thing until 1935. This is Nancy Pelosi attending JFK's inauguration in 1961 as a 20-year-old. We know of bowhead whales that have lived for more than 200 years. So any bowheads that managed to live through the golden age of American whaling in the 19th century could still be swimming in the ocean today. When novels became popular in the 1700s, the media thought that young people were reading too much. They were calling it the reading rage, the reading fever, and the reading mania. The oldest currently working train engine in the world was built when slavery was still legal in the United States.
Here's how to actually lucid dream. Lucid dreaming is when you become aware that you're in a dream, and this means you can now control everything. It's very fun. So here's the technique called MILD. It stands for Mnemonic Induction to Lucid Dreaming. It's the method that works for me. As you are falling asleep, repeat the phrase in your head, I will control my dream. I will control my dream. I will control my dream. By repeating this mantra, you're encouraging your brain to be aware when you begin dreaming, and therefore, you should lucid dream.
Hey man, to be able to control your dreams, that's actually next level, man. I remember sometimes, man, I just throughout the day, I mean, did I dream that, bro? And it seems like it was so real, but to be actually to control your dreams, man, like control your actions and where the dream goes, I'm definitely gonna have to try that Seekers, man. Lucid dreaming. Have any of you guys tried that before? If you do, I would love to hear your stories. That's an edit.
These are some truly unsettling facts. And I found all these on Reddit. Number 1, the world's loneliest whale. There's a whale that resides deep in the ocean that has been singing a song for years, but no other whales can understand it. The reason is because this whale's voice is so deep that it's too low for any other whale to hear. And he's been calling out trying to find a mate or a family member for years now, but nobody can hear him or find him. So he's been swimming deep in the ocean by himself for so long. And it's because of this that scientists have called him the world's loneliest whale. Number 2, Abraham Lincoln. Now, we all know Abraham Lincoln. He was like our 15th or 16th president or something like that, had a crazy beard, and he was assassinated. But this is a very unsettling fact about him. The 3 days leading up to the fateful night where Abraham Lincoln would be assassinated, Lincoln had had nightmares detailing his assassination. And we know this because his bodyguard, who was named Crook, actually detailed this entire thing. Lincoln had told Crook about all these nightmares, and Crook begged him not to go to the theater. And all that Lincoln said in return was, "Goodbye, Crook." And he left. And the reason why this was weird was because Crook said every single time that Abe had left, he would always say good night, not goodbye. But he could tell that Abe knew this would be the last time they saw each other. And finally, emergency broadcast. Now, we all know what an emergency broadcast is, but in the event of the world ending, CNN has a pre-recorded emergency broadcast from the 1990s that would kind of be like a farewell to everyone. They have this ready to play just in case that fateful day comes, and that to me is truly horrifying, which is why it's perfect for today's video.
Urban legends from around the world. La Ciguapa, located in the Dominican Republic. Here's the story. Said to be a hypnotic mythical creature in the form of a woman. Said to have long hair that covers her whole body, and the most interesting part is that she has backwards feet. Said to dwell in forests and the Highland Mountains. She lures unsuspecting men in, and they are never seen again. The first claim of this creature actually dates back all the way to 1866. Which country is next?
Facts about money that will blow
Scary
your
story.
mind. You are more likely to die in a car accident on your way to buy a lottery ticket than you are winning the lottery. LeBron James will make about 3 times more money with his NBA salary than all 151 WNBA players combined. The mascot for the Denver Nuggets basketball team will also make about 3 times more money than the highest paid WNBA player. George Clooney once gave 14 of his closest friends $1 million as a surprise gift with one condition. They all had to take it or none of them got it. If you started with 1 penny and doubled your money every single day, it would take you less than 28 days to become a millionaire. A lawyer made a deal with a 90-year-old woman that said if he paid her rent every single month, he would keep the apartment after she died. He died 1 year before she did, over 30 years later. The lawyer ended up paying $180,000 for an apartment that he never lived in. Follow for more.
That was the deal of a lifetime.
The most terrifying prisoners of all time. Known as one of Australia's most dangerous and violent female prisoners, this is Rebecca Butterfield. She was initially sent to Silverwater Prison for stabbing her neighbor, and that is where things got worse. Way worse. And who was also a fellow inmate 33 times with a carving knife. The prison murder landed her another 12 years, and another 5 was added on as she was deemed too dangerous for society. During one violent episode, she said, "If I get out, I will kill again." Butterfield has attacked prison nurses and doctors, throwing boiling tea and water on guards and other inmates, and even lunged towards guards, saying she was trying to take their guns. As of January 2021, she is to remain behind bars until 2023.
Menace to society, like I said, too
This is
people,
the how long
too
you survive
dangerous.
in the wild vision test. Oh, and spoiler alert, we haven't got a chance. Okay, here's the first one. I'm going to say this one's pretty easy. And let me just say, every single animal that are in all of these photos could easily subtract you from the equation that is life if they wanted to, and then proceed to sleep like a baby afterwards. Okay, next up, I'd say this one's pretty average. This one did drive me fucking insane, and we're only on the second one, so good luck. Don't worry if you can't see it, because I can assure you it sees you. The worst part is once you see it and know exactly what animal it is, then you can pretty much guarantee that there are more around. Since I couldn't see this one, I would not survive in the wild, I'd get clapped. Okay, next up I'm going to put this one in the hard category. I mean, I'll give you a clue since we're looking at the ground, you probably know we're looking for something small. But still not small enough that it couldn't send you to the next realm before you have a chance to say, oh, there it is. Okay, this one's difficult and I am sorry for this one. And if you don't want to be put on the front of a newspaper, you really need to find it. However, finding it will not make it any better because you'll realize it's looking directly into your soul. Because these animals typically like to stare at what they want to take for themselves. And finally, we have insane, and this is just cruel. And I'm not trolling for views, it's there. Now send this video to a friend to see how many they can see.
Seekers, could you guys see any of those animals you were talking about?
Which is countries in every continent. North America, United States. Europe, Liechtenstein. Asia, Qatar. Oceania, Australia. South America, Chile. Africa, Nigeria.
That doesn't shock me at all. The top countries, man. Maybe except for Chile. I wasn't expecting that one.
You just watched Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. You need to watch this documentary next. It's very similar. In 1987, 15-year-old Jennifer Pandos went missing from her own bedroom. Since parents is going to relentlessly attempt to get this case closed. This documentary is really good, and if you liked Into the Fire, you're going to love this one. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
Urban legends from every state. The legend of Charlie No Face, located in various parts of Pennsylvania. Here's the story. Also known as the Green Man, Charlie No Face was a real person. His name is Raymond Robinson, and he has quite a tragic tale. The legend was told as a man with no face would stalk people at night. The real story is when he was 8 years old, he was climbing up an electrical pole and got shocked, surviving but terribly burning his face and arms. He actually walked at night to avoid being ridiculed or scaring people. People were assholes. And as far as people calling him the Green Man, some say that it was just his clothes reflecting the lights off the cars. People who knew him said he was a hell of a nice guy, just a man forced into isolation by society.
That's so sad, man. Had a show that night just so he wouldn't
This
scare
Las
anybody.
Vegas man allegedly beat a customer severely for breaking the nacho cheese machine, because people will fight over anything these days. To top this all off, this dude works at the gas station too. His name is Myron Bully. He will not be charged for attempted murder. This happened early in the morning on September 3rd, about 2 weeks ago. The victim was bleeding from all over his face, and the police had to transport him to a hospital to get treated for skull fractures. He also had multiple brain bleeds on top of that, so he definitely got beat pretty severely here. There was a witness here who was pumping gas and asked Myron, because Myron is an attendant, if he was going to call 911 for the victim. He responded by saying, "I'm not going to call 911 from him, I hope he learned his lesson." The victim got nachos, and apparently Myron thought he was putting too much cheese on it, and then the machine malfunctioned, then he kicked him out of the store. The guy tried to come back for his nachos, and Myron greeted him with a baseball bat. He was swinging at the victim pretty hard. Witnesses said he couldn't get up for several minutes. Myron said if I hit him hard, his brains would have been smashed. So Myron has absolutely no remorse for this. His bail is set at $10,000. I'm not sure what kind of sentence he's going to get. My guess is like 10 to 15 years. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Seriously, if you don't...
People will literally fight over the most dumbest things, man. Really over some nacho cheese. Because he was pouring too much, that justified their actions. I'm telling you, man, the world... People just have to be nicer to each other, man. That doesn't make no sense. That was some damn nacho cheese, really.
You know what's going on over in America right now, you need to watch this video. So the other day, of course, there was the presidential debate, and of course there was one major point that everybody's talking about now. Social media going crazy with already this sound being made, and hundreds, thousands of people making videos. I mean, it's been like 2 days and there's already 26,500 videos.
Eat the cat, eat the cat, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
This all came from this one video that this guy just remixed it, and people were nuts. Meanwhile though, in Ohio, this happened yesterday, like what the hell? The cops found this 27-year-old woman with blood and fur around her mouth, leaning and kneeling over a deceased cat, which she reportedly had eaten. Seriously, what's going on? What is going on? Make sure that follow button, I'll keep you updated.
I missed some as well.
Best friends killed an abusive husband together. Marianne and Wanda were the best of friends, like, all through their high school days. They were both members of the 4-H club, both active in the FFA, and after graduation, Marianne went out and she was looking for a bright new world, and Wanda looked all around her hometown and all she found was Earl. They And y'all, it wasn't 2 weeks after she got married that Wanda started getting abused. She started wearing dark sunglasses, long sleeve blouses, makeup to cover her bruises. But she finally got the nerve to file for divorce, and she let the law take it from there. But Earl walked right through that restraining order and put her in intensive care. And right away, Marianne flew in from Atlanta on a red-eye midnight flight, and she held Wanda's hand, and they worked out a plan, and it didn't take them long to decide that Earl had to die. And y'all, they killed Earl together. They were mocking him and laughing at him as he was dying. They were saying things like, "What? What's wrong with those black-eyed peas? They tasted all right to me." "Oh, what's the matter? You feeling weak? Why don't you lay down and sleep, Earl? Oh, ain't it dark, all wrapped up in that tarp?" It was sadistic, it was twisted, and they took a lot of pleasure in bringing an end to Earl. And now the cops came by to bring Earl in. They searched their house high and low. They tipped their hats and they said, "Thank you, ladies. If you hear from him, let us know, okay?" But the weeks went by, spring turned to summer, summer turned into fall, and turns out Earl was a missing person that nobody missed at all. So girls bought some land in a roadside stand out there on Highway 109, and they sell Tennessee ham, strawberry jam, and they don't lose any sleep at night because Earl had to die. Matter of fact, they held onto his body for a while and they stuffed him in the trunk. They actually took his body to the lake. They had a picnic lunch. I mean, what they did to this guy was absolutely outrageous, but truth is, Earl had to die. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed the story today. My name is Jordan Rayner. I'm a recording artist trying to get a record deal. Hit follow, help me get to 1 million. And also, I've got a brand new EP called Revolver that just dropped on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. It's freaking amazing. Please go give it a spin. Cheers. Goodbye.
Did they ever get caught?
These cannot be easy.
Seek the truth.
Amazing things you have never seen before. This is a maned wolf. It's one of the rarest animals in the world, and it's pretty terrifying. This is Vanta Black. It's the darkest material in the world and can make 3D objects look like 2D ones. This is one of the rarest and most terrifying parasites in the world. This evil parasite steals the fish's tongue and then takes its place. I never knew these existed. This is a brick road laying machine. If you look closely, you'll realize that this isn't 4 different pictures. This is one single picture. This is insane. This airport has a road going through it. And this is actually more colors than you've ever seen in your life. This is exactly 1 million colors.
How? That last one, Cat.
If you have one of these in your home, then you need to know this new chilling theory. TikTokers have claimed these new viral furry Labubus carry demonic energy, rumoured to be inspired by the demon Pazuzu. But Hotmart insists they're based on a children's book. Labubu owners have now taken to blessing their dolls with holy water to banish any evil the new toys may hold. This truck driver...
I've been seeing those Labubu dolls. They've been going viral recently. Any of the seekers got them? Any of those claims are true?
Took the life of 5 people because he was distracted on TikTok. On the morning of January 12, 2023, 36-year-old Danny Tyner was driving on Interstate 10 in Arizona when he drove his tractor trailer in to stop the traffic. This scene is so difficult to look at, but basically his truck sandwiched 2 other cars with another big truck at the front. These are the 5 victims that lost their lives on that day, and when Danny was asked what happened, he said that he looked down for a couple of seconds because he got a notification on his work tablet, and when he looked back up, there was not enough time to brake. But that wasn't true. When his phone was analyzed, it showed that he was actively using TikTok when the crash happened. Now, what I found disturbing was that during his interaction with police, he didn't seem too fazed. He was eventually charged with manslaughter and was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for each count of negligent homicide, which totaled to 22.5 years.
Don't use your phone when you're driving, man. Especially TikTok. You're just scrolling.
3 incredible historic photos that 99% of people don't know about. Number 3. A boy fell into a zoo enclosure and a gorilla took care of him. This snapshot was taken in 1996 and featured Binti Jua, an 8-year-old Western lowland female gorilla. Although gorillas are generally regarded as dangerous creatures, when a 3-year-old boy fell into her enclosure, Binti Jua took care of the child. Astonishingly, the child had managed to climb and fall 23 feet into the gorilla's habitat. Number 2. Stray dogs protected and nourished this abandoned baby. I like to believe that the 3 street dogs in this photo appear to be smiling at the camera. This snapshot, taken in 1996, shows a newborn girl who had been abandoned in a trash bin near Kolkata, India. These 3 friendly dogs came across the baby and took care of her for about 2 days. The 4-legged friends even tried to feed the newborn. Number 1. A Native American Olympian has his shoes stolen just before his race. In the photo, We see Native American athlete Jim Thorpe in 1912. Someone had just stolen his running shoes right before his Olympic track and field events. Instead of letting this unfair play deter him, he rummaged through trash bins and found a pair of mismatched shoes, which we see in the photo. This did not prevent him from winning 2 Olympic gold medals on the same day.
One in a Million, Part 7. On the right is the facial reconstruction of a 9,000-year-old skeleton that was found in a cave in Cheddar, England. His DNA was tested, and researchers found that a living relative was teaching history class only a half-mile away from the site, linking back 300 generations. Out of the 40,000 windows within the Twin Towers, only one of them survived 9/11. It's believed to have come from the 82nd floor of the South Tower, one of the 9 floors that was struck by the second plane. The first person to die during the construction of the Hoover Dam was surveyor J.G. Tierney on December 20th, 1922. On the same exact day, 14 years later, the last person died. It was J.G.'s son, Patrick Tierney. Uncombable hair syndrome is an extremely rare condition that literally makes the hair impossible to comb. It currently affects less than 100 people across the globe. A married couple from China discovered that they were in the same photograph as teenagers more than a decade before they even met. On July 4th, 1826, President John Adams' last words before dying were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." But little did he know, President Jefferson had died just hours earlier that same exact day. Not to mention it was exactly 50 years after the Declaration of Independence was passed.
That was eerie.
Horses are much bigger than people, so naturally they just have a lot more blood than we do. So whenever horses get nosebleeds, it ends up looking like a whole crime scene. So one of the only reasons we know how many people died in the Titanic are the shoes that are laying on the ocean floor. Some are pretty cool, others are kind of depressing. And the reason we count the shoes instead of, bones is because when the Titanic hit the floor, all the corpses kind of just scattered and the fish ate the corpses, but the fish couldn't eat the shoes. If you ever decide to go climb Mount Everest, I hope that you remember that the crevices in the ice are V-shaped, which means if you were to ever accidentally fall down one, you more than likely wouldn't die instantly. Your body heat would melt the ice around you, causing you to slip further and further down until your chest couldn't expand enough to breathe. So make sure you bring a friend just as crazy as you to help get you out.
I ain't never going to Mount Everest. Cross that off the list.
Car when a brick came flying towards her. In 2012, 29-year-old Olga Gaikovich was riding in the passenger seat with her family.
They were driving down a road in Russia just like any other day. Their car had a dash cam, not knowing what it was about to capture. In the video, a semi-truck passes by the family's car when a brick is seen flying in the air going towards Olga. The brick smashes the window and hits Olga in the head. Everyone in the car is screaming while Olga has been knocked out by that brick. Olga was rushed to the hospital but later died from her injuries. This is your reminder to be safe on the road and always be observant.
Who threw that brick?
Is your school spying on you? I'd put money down and say that your school gave you a laptop to use for your studies. If so, open up Google Chrome on your computer and type in Chrome://policy. This is going to allow you to see what your admin, aka your school, has allowed on the device. If you open it up and there's nothing there, that is a good sign. But if some policies actually pop up, you're going to want to click these link out buttons to see what the policies actually mean. When you click on that, if there's anything related to video capture allowed or screen record allowed, your school is watching everything you do. I'd recommend covering that webcam up.
I never even thought about that before. When, schools being nice, I remember when they was handing out all these laptops for the kids to use. They have another freaking purpose, man. That's crazy, man. Those backdoor systems they can put on the laptops.
The World's Most Dangerous Conspiracy Theories, Season 2. This picture represents conspiracy theories from the most well-known to the darkest. Some of these theories say that once you learn the truth, there's no return. For this series, we're going to be picking a couple from each category until we reach Tier 10, the point of no return. Alright, Season 2, welcome to Tier 1. Today we're going to be talking about Ouija boards. A Ouija board is a board printed with numbers, letters, and symbols in hopes of communicating with the dead. The history of the Ouija board is just as mysterious as the game itself. A woman named Helen Peters claimed to be a very strong psychic and actually invented the board herself. herself. Eventually, Helen Peters' brother-in-law named Elijah wanted to get these things patented so that he could sell these everywhere. Helen Peters and Elijah traveled everywhere trying to get this patent, but the offices said they couldn't release a patent unless they had proof of it working. But consequently, nobody in these offices wanted to even get close to the board for unknown reasons. Until one day they traveled to Washington, D.C., and the chief of patent walked in the room and said, "You don't know me and I don't know you." Then he said, "If this board can tell me my name, I will sign the patent for you right now." The board apparently spelled the man's name. He walked out of the office, looked at Helen Peters and said, "You got your patent." Years later, Helen Peters and Elijah had a falling out, and Helen said she no longer wanted anything to do with this board. Elijah, on the other hand, continued selling these boards until one day he fell off of a 3-story building. He actually survived the fall, and some bystanders saw his body laying in the road. They picked him up, put him in the car, and they hit a bump in the road and his broken rib pierced through his heart. After that, the family sold the rights to the board, and all the way up until Helen Peters' death, her last words is, "Do not play the Ouija board, it lies." And now you can buy a Ouija board from any store and they're marketed to children. So the question remains, are these boards just a hoax, or was Helen Peters trying to warn us of something much darker? Make sure to like and follow for tier 2.
Here's some horror movie fates that are even worse than being sewn into a human centipede. Because just when you thought you've seen it all, I'm here to bring you the worst of the worst. I don't really see a lot of people talking about this, but there's one scene in this movie that still haunts me, and it's been years since I saw it. Wrong Turn from 2021 is about a group of friends who go hiking in the Appalachian Mountains. And there they encounter a cult called the Foundation, and this cult has a very unique justice system. And the scene that I'm talking about is how this cult chooses to punish people who commit crimes such as trespassing or even lying. One of the characters in this movie is sentenced to darkness, which is a punishment that is worse than death. And basically what that means is that their eyes and ears are burned out with a hot poker and their tongue is ripped out of their mouths. These people are then kept alive and thrown into a dark cave where they live the rest of their lives in silence and darkness. You literally see all of this happen in the movie, so that definitely traumatized me a little bit. But if you're into body horror, this movie will definitely give it to you. This is the 7th movie in the Wrong Turn franchise, but you don't really need to watch the other movies to watch this, it'll still make sense. A part of me kind of wishes that it was a standalone movie and had nothing to do with the rest of the lore, but overall I did like it. Let me know if you've seen any movies that you think are even more disturbing than the human centipede, and follow for more horror and movie content every single day.
In Spain, they say if you hear a sack dragging after midnight, it's already too late. El Hombre del Saco, also known as the Sack Man, is known as an old man who carries a sack around and kidnaps children. He is ugly, skinny, and eats the children he kidnaps. But don't worry, this only happens to children who misbehave. In 1910 in Spain, some believed that drinking the blood of a child and taking their body fat and putting it onto another person's body would cure tuberculosis. There was a man named Francisco Ortega, and he had just been diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he was desperate to find a cure. He went to see a healer named Augustina Rodriguez, and she sent him to a man named Francisco Leona, who was a barber and a healer. The man told him he could cure him for 3,000 reales, which would be equivalent to $13,000 today. Francisco then went to Augustina's son, Julio, and told him that in order to find a cure, they needed to find a child. On June 27th of 1910, Francisco used chloroform on 7-year-old Bernardo Gonzalez Barra and placed him in a sack. He was then taken out of the sack and stabbed. Francisco then mixed Bernardo's blood with sugar and drank it. Bernardo was alive for all of this, and eventually he was taken to a place called Las Posicas, and his skull was smashed with a rock. Bernardo's body fat was then removed so they could use it on Francisco's body. Once they were done, they hid Bernardo's body in a crevice with herbs and stones. Once Julio found out that he wasn't going to be paid for any of this, he went to the authorities and told them that he found the body of a small child while he went bird chasing. Once authorities arrived, they took Francisco Leona, the healer, into custody. During trial, all 3 men got in trouble and received death sentences. Since then, many have been afraid of encountering El Hombre del Saco.
This is a test to see if you have healthy eyes. If you pass all 5 levels, your vision is perfect. All you have to do is pick one out of the 10 colors that is different from the rest. Starting off easy, you can clearly see that number 7 is lighter than the rest of them. 97% of people pass this stage, but it's about to get way harder. Okay, let's move on to medium. This one is a little more difficult and will require a little more attention. The correct answer is 2. Level advanced is even harder. Only 30% of people make it past this stage, so really focus and you'll see that the correct answer is 4. Superhuman. This level is really going to test your vision, and I know these look identical, but if you look closely, number 4 is slightly different. And the final level, Impossible. 92% of people failed this level, and the answer is 10. Were you right? Comment below.
I think it kind of got
3 paranormal
Two
and
of
mysterious stories that will give you goosebumps. Number 3. In the 19th century, in the town of Amherst in Nova Scotia, a chilling and terrifying tale took root. Esther Cox, an ordinary-looking young woman, claimed to be tormented day and night by poltergeists. The spirits that haunted her moved objects, slammed doors, and scratched her. Despite thorough investigations and numerous accounts of this chilling haunting, the enigma was never solved. The mystery remains obscure, weaving a web of intrigue through the decades. Number 2. In 1809, an autumn chill takes hold of Europe. Benjamin Bathurst, a renowned British diplomat, is en route to England after a vital mission in Austria. On the way back, Benjamin takes a stop at an inn, where he mysteriously disappears. Despite intense searches, there is no trace of him. No one in the inn saw him leave his room. His shoes and belongings are still there, but there's no trace of Benjamin. To this day, his fate remains shrouded in mystery. Number 1. The legend of Ben Sublet, a tormented miner, who allegedly discovered an evil gold vein of immense value that could fill the coffers of several kingdoms. However, the location of this mine remains an oppressive mystery. Skeptics question the existence of this colossal wealth, supposedly hidden in the gloomy Guadalupe Mountains of Texas. Is Sublet's insidious treasure, a specter of gold and desolation, still waiting in the dark depths, ready to bewitch the intrepid who tries to unearth it?
This is the disturbing moment this woman laughed in court after she took this 3-year-old's life in a random attack. On June 3rd, police received numerous phone calls about a stabbing at a grocery store parking lot in Ohio. At around 3 p.m. on this day, 38-year-old Margot Wood was loading groceries into her car while her 3-year-old son Julian sat in his car seat. That's when 32-year-old Bianca Ellis entered the car and began stabbing the little boy. When Margot noticed, she tried to stop the attacker, and as a result, she was also wounded. Julian was then rushed to the hospital where he unfortunately passed away. Now, what's disturbing was that this was a random attack, and after looking at surveillance footage, the attacker was seen following the mother and the child in and out of the grocery store. Then, when Bianca was brought into court, the judge began reading out the indictment, and she was seen smiling and laughing the entire time. And after an assessment was done on Bianca, they're arguing that she has bipolar disorder and had a psychotic break, which explains why she did what she did. And this story only gets crazier. Before this incident, Bianca confessed to another murder in Bakersfield, and she even gave details of what she did with this person's body. She also warned officers that if she wasn't arrested, she was going to murder someone and eat their flesh. But none of this was taken too serious, and she was released from the mental institution, and not long after, she committed this heinous crime.
She literally said what she was gonna do and they still let her go.
This is the world's smallest dog. Her name is Pearl, and she's a 2-year-old Chihuahua that lives in Central Florida. Pearl stands at 3.59 inches tall and weighs 1.2 pounds. She's shorter than a popsicle stick and around the same length as a $1 bill, and she can fit in the palm of your hand. Pearl was recently awarded the Guinness World Record for being the smallest and shortest dog in the world. She's a descendant of the previous world record holder, Miracle Millie, who is 3.8 inches tall, which is just 0.2 inches taller than Pearl. Pearl's owner describes her as a calm dog who likes to go for walks and play with her toys. She also said that Pearl loves the attraction she gets for being so tiny.
Wow, what the hell? World's tiniest dog. She's a descendant from the previous world's tiniest dog. That makes sense. That tracks.
Y'all, this is some crazy FB news, y'all. So this little girl right here had this baby, right? Tell me why this little girl right here had been being SA'd by her biological father since she was 9 years old and had shared 3 children with this man. Now, the reason that this all popped off is because the 2-year-old was like 6 pounds. So CPS got involved and found out the 2-year-old was being malnourished. And they got involved, and then they did some tests, and they realized that all 3 of the children belonged to her and the biological father. Now she's currently 21 years old, and allegedly everybody in the family knew about this. The grandma knew, the grandpa knew, everybody knew. This is some sweet home Alabama BS, because I don't understand how nobody told what was going on to anybody, to CPS. The 9-year-old tried advocating for herself and telling CPS what was going on, but they did not listen to her, nor did they believe her. Now, they did a DNA ancestral test and said that the 16-year-old and 38-year-old were related. That was her biological father. She is currently 21 years old, and they said at the time they were living at the same residence. And it also says that the doctor is taking care of the 1-year-old, and that's when they realized that the 1-year-old had features that resembled ancestral DNA was like related, like they were related to one another. This is a picture of one of the children with the biological grandpa, who's also the biological father. This is another picture of the son with the grandma. Now she knew, now I think this is the grandpa and the grandma, but they knew what was going on and they did not help their granddaughter. And this is the entire post, pause to read, of the daughter stating what happened to her and her being ready to speak out about her situation because she felt like nobody believed her. And at this point, she's saying that everybody who did believe her passed away. And I believe that was the grandma, the grandpa, but they still didn't do nothing to help her. This is some crazy stuff. But this is her now, and this is the biological grandpa and dad now. He's still free and alive. And she's saying that, yeah, I honestly feel like he should be unalive because why would you do this to your own daughter?
World's a dark place, man. That doesn't even make sense.
Karla Faye Tucker was sentenced to death for murdering 2 people with a pickaxe. And for years, that was the end of her story. Until something happened. Karla Faye Tucker was born again. While she was in prison, she became a devout Christian. She renounced violence. She became a model inmate. She even married a minister. So Karla Faye Tucker made the transition from a child being sold to men by her mother to a cold-blooded killer to a born-again Christian. And that was inspiring to a lot of people.
I was forgiven, and I experienced that forgiveness. It freed me up inside to soar.
Soon her case didn't really become about her very ugly crime. It was about redemption. Karla's dramatic religious transformation garnered her a lot of support within the Christian community, including televangelist Pat Robertson, and he usually championed tough-on-crime policies, but even he fought for clemency for her. The argument made by Karla Faye Tucker's supporters was this: the Karla Faye Tucker who committed these crimes no longer exists, so does she still deserve to die for it? It's definitely a thinker. It poses questions about justice, mercy. Is the goal of a prison sentence to punish or to rehabilitate? But here's the kicker. The problem with mercy in the legal system is that it's rarely about fairness. The question also needs to be asked about why Karla received the international sympathy she did, when many others on death row never did. Like, is it genuinely because she was rehabilitated, or was it because she was a soft-spoken, pretty white woman who fit the mold of someone worthy of mercy? On the other side, the families of Karla Faye Tucker's victims had their own questions. Like, why did Karla deserve mercy when she didn't have any for Jerry Dean or Deborah Thornton? By 1998, Karla Faye Tucker had been on death row for 14 years and had exhausted all of her appeals, meaning the only thing that could save her from being executed was being pardoned by the governor of Texas, who at the time was George W. Bush. He said no. He said she was found guilty by a jury of her peers, and it's their job to enforce the laws. So Karla Faye Tucker was executed by lethal injection on February 3rd, 1998. To this day, Karla Faye Tucker's case still haunts the death penalty debate. And it forces us to ask what justice is actually for. Would Karla Faye Tucker's life be better served helping other people in prison, or did she deserve to have her life ended because she brutally ended 2 other people's lives?
Probably miss. Investopedia put out a new study saying that the American dream now costs over $5 million over a lifetime. With over $1.6 million in retirement, $900,000 for buying new cars. That's dumb. 2 kids plus college, $876,000. Owning a home is nearly $1 million over the lifetime. And healthcare is $500,000. Because of course. Feels good to be an American, doesn't it? Chuck Norris hiked a 10,000-foot mountain at 85 years old. You know what? That's actually not crazy. He's Chuck Norris, of course. Can't believe I put that in here. There was a baby born in Brazil holding the IUD from the mother in his hand. IUDs are 99% effective, so bro is just like, I'm a part of the 1%. Spotify just deleted 75 million AI-generated tracks on their platform.
She's stretching. It's like he's made out of plastic, bro. It's Plastic Man. I don't see nothing. I forgot what they're called. That picture haunted?
Get it!
Looky here. This is a medallion, also called a galvanic battery. A specific combination of 7 metals. Pretty sure that's what they're wearing. See, I got this to experiment, and I learned that it charges you even more when it is in salt water or when you perspire. So I was going to encase it into a sweatband. Then I remembered these guys. What if that's what they were doing? They had these on certain parts of their body, just like those armaments. These are armbands at different parts of their meridian body. See, our body is made of this energetic pathway, and different crystals and metals affect it. And what if they were using this for health and not for teleportation like I thought? That's still possible. I'm gonna go work up a sweat, put this on, and see what happens.
Here's the red pill truth about ancient America and how it connects directly to the Flat Earth realm. Ancient America, the forgotten center of the Flat Earth realm. Atlantis, sacred energy grids, and the realm they erased. 1. America was Atlantis, not a lost island, but the central realm. Ancient America was not discovered in 1492. It was already the crown jewel of the realm. Before the global reset, America was Atlantis, an advanced, sacred civilization aligned with source frequency, energy technology, and divine laws. Atlantis didn't sink. It was covered, buried, rewritten, and rebranded. Why do you think every major empire tried to control America? Because it's not just land, it's the spiritual heart of the realm. 2. America is near the center of the realm map. The Flat Earth realm has a layout. Center, Mount Meru, North Pole. Inner lands, where we live, America is one of the sacred lands closest to the center. Outer ice wall, Antarctica, not a continent, but a barrier. Outer lands, hidden beyond the wall, ancient texts call them the lands of the gods. America's alignment with ley lines, mounds, pyramids, and energy vortices proves it was a high-frequency civilization in the center ring. 3. The mound builders and ancient energy grids. Long before the native tribes, megalithic mound builders ruled the land. Serpent Mound, Cahokia, Poverty Point, all align with the stars and electromagnetic grid points. These were not primitive tribes, they were Atlantean engineers, tuning into Earth's frequency like the pyramids in Egypt and Peru. Star forts, sun calendars, and giant bones prove pre-reset giants and godlike humans once roamed freely in America. 4. The Red Reset, erasing ancient America. The 1800s, Wild West, myth, Indian wars, and Library of Congress burnings were all about destroying the Atlantean evidence, burying ancient tech and symbols, replacing the story with cowboys and manifest destiny lies. The Smithsonian and Vatican worked together to hide bones of giants, ancient artifacts, and flat realm cosmology. They erased America's real role to keep you locked in a Eurocentric slave history. 5. Why they hid it? America holds the frequency code. The land is rich in crystal, gold, water, energy nodes. It's a cosmic circuit board. Ancient Americans used sound, solar energy, and Chi flow to stay connected to the Creator without religion.
Wow.
Flat Earth reality equals contained dimension. Ancient America equals the divine reset key that unlocks the original grid. Washington, D.C. was built over ancient sacred land with a Saturn Masonic layout. Navajo, Hopi, Mayan, and Olmec legends all speak of a great fall, gods from above, and multiple resets. North Star Polaris was central to navigation and spiritual alignment for these ancient cultures. The Red Pill Truth Summary. America wasn't founded, it was stolen. Atlantis didn't disappear, it was renamed. And the Flat Earth realm isn't a theory, it's the true map they fear. Because when you realize you're in a realm, not a globe, and America is the key, you take your power back.
Yesterday.
Do any of the seekers believe in the flat Earth theory, man? They was doling out a lot of information, man. I was keeping up with the two. So they basically how saying America is basically Atlantis, and that's why people really want America, because it's in the center of everything since it's the flat Earth theory. I need to know if we have any flat earthers among us in the seekers.
This Saudi Arabian prince passed away after spending nearly 20 years in a coma. But what's so crazy about this is that it's not just a story of tragedy, it's a story of how a family stood by their son for 2 decades refusing to give up on him. You see, Prince Al-Walid, a member of the ruling royal family of Saudi Arabia, was involved in a horrific car crash while studying at a London military college in 2005. He was just 15 years old at the time and suffered severe brain injuries and internal bleeding, which forced him into a coma. And things were so bad that the doctors themselves advised ending his life support. His father, however, refused to give up hope. Instead, for the next 20 years, the family did everything they could for him. And in the process, he became known globally as the Sleeping Prince. They brought in top specialists from around the world, they celebrated his birthdays by his bedside, and even shared small signs of progress online, like small finger movements. But tragically, despite doing everything in their power, yesterday on the 19th of June, Prince Al-Walid's father announced his passing on X, saying, "With deep sorrow and sadness, we mourn our beloved son." He died in the same hospital that he was treated for the last 20 years. And now the whole of Saudi Arabia is mourning because this has turned into something so much bigger than just a tragic accident. The Sleeping Prince and his family became a symbol of enduring love, hope, and perseverance in a story which has now touched the hearts of so many. R.I.P. the Sleeping Prince.
This is a video of the Pope opening these doors for Christmas. This video came out last year, and it's now surfacing that there is something hiding in this video that nobody noticed, and it is honestly unnerving and unsettling. So I need to say first, no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and I rebuke this in the name of Jesus, because what you're about to see is absolutely shocking. And you already missed it. It just played. You didn't even see it. I'm going to slow it down, zoom it in, and we're going to need to talk about this. Now watch closely. As he is I slowed it down so you'll be able to see it. As this door is opening, there's someone waiting on the other side of the door, and something about them does not add up. Bottom right corner, look over here.
Okay.
Look at this guy's head. Do you notice anything? Do you notice it? Dude, where are his ears?
I just picked up on it.
Where are this dude's ears? Look very closely. There's no shadow for them. There is no ear. What opened the door for the Pope?
Skinwalker.
And why doesn't it have ears? My ears will never look like this. Even if I shaved my whole head, you'd still see my ears. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow for more.
Gucci Mane is gone. Everybody been thinking this for the longest time. But after this interview with his wife, I know this man is gone. Listen to what she said. This shit crazy, fool.
Like, set a plan up. Like, at one point, I called his attorney, I called some bodyguards, and I just planned a whole kidnap, and we kidnapped him and took him to the hospital because we could not get him to the hospital. And he was trying to fight them and everything, but it was 6 of them, he couldn't handle it. And we threw him in the car, he would try to jump out the car, so we put him in the center of the car, you know? And that was like his last episode.
Now, whatever way y'all want to interpret that, she said she kidnapped this man. So that means he didn't want to go at his will. She said that was his last episode, though. Don't this sound like get out?
Eu não conheço o futuro. Não vim lhe
I
dizer
don't
como
know.
terminará. Eu vim dizer como vai começar. Pois eu vou mostrar a essas pessoas o que você não quer que elas vejam. Eu vou mostrar um mundo sem você. Um mundo sem regra, onde qualquer coisa é possível. O que haverá depois, você vai decidir.
That's the Matrix line, bro. I remember that verbatim.
Have y'all noticed that the things that people used to call people crazy for or conspiracy theorists for, y'all remember how conspiracy theorists used to get the worst of the worst when it came to like banter and talking about them and thinking that they're crazy and stupid? But now everything is being exposed and people are realizing that the people who were conspiracy theorists and question everything, because I don't look at a conspiracy theorist, like there are people who go OD with the conspiracy stuff, but for the most part, I look at conspiracy theories as people who question everything, right? But the higher ups label you as a conspiracy theorist and everyone else conforms, and so you're looked at as the person who's crazy. Do y'all understand that a lot of the people who've been, like, the things that are happening right now, people have been saying this for the last 10, 20, 30, before I was born years. But when, like, even when I was younger and I used to watch, like, a bunch of things, conspiracy theories, I used to watch a bunch of things and people used to say things that are happening right now. And I'm like, dang, like, that's crazy. I used to even label people like crazy conspiracy theorists when I was like 14 and 13 and 15. And I don't know, people might call me a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I don't think I am. I just think I question everything and I don't believe the higher ups. But now y'all see that the conspiracy theorists weren't the crazy people. Y'all see it now.
Yeah, man. Like, I wonder how many freaking conspiracy theorists back in the day, bro. They had some theories, man, that's hold true to this day, man. That's why I started this journey in the first place, man. It's just to, like, ask questions. Don't believe everything people say because, I mean, people lie. That's human nature, man. So you never know who's telling the truth. So you always got to question. You got to find out the truth yourself. I wonder what conspiracy theories, man, that were told back in the day that is like still going on right now, bro. But they can't see that the theory was true.
For entertainment purposes only, of course. But I think I've actually caught Project Blue Beam in action here. Or something else, but these orbs that everybody was seeing, they project images down to us, what we see. So that if you've seen the videos of them spraying the stuff, they spray the stuff and then the orb projects the image to make it look like an airplane or whatever they want, to make birds look like birds. But I think I'm the first one who has caught this. And I hope everybody passes this around and lets everybody see what's going on. But once again, for entertainment purposes only, this is only, imaginary. I have a lot of other great videos too. I'm going to try to get out there. But this truly is super interesting. Stay safe, everyone.
They say Project Blue Beam looks intense. Just orbs dancing, projecting an image.
Call the health agency and tell them to come shut this place down, man. Because people are going to get sick and die. Sick and die.
I'm shutting it down. We got to clean this place up.
The next day.
What's that?
So basically, the owner called and threatened me with the authorities to leave the store immediately because he's made 0 sales today. The owner cares more about money than he do the health and safety of the community. Get him? Yeah. Get him? Say that again? Say what's that? What's his name?
Y'all representative.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, y'all supposed to be here.
I do supposed to be here. Did you see the health score, sir? 81.5? Huh?
That's what he's talking about.
I know, but the owner has nothing to do with it. This store got to get shut down. Nobody come do it. You see this? So nobody can eat here. Anybody else? Yeah, we all good. Nobody can eat here if anybody come. So call the owner back and tell him he should have been cleaning it up. So this is exactly why we do what we do, so we can do stuff like this. See this? This is what the owner wants. You want stuff like this. But guess what? That's what we do with stuff like that. We do stuff like that, we throw it in the trash. Okay? Yes, Alex. Yeah, so you threatening me that you're gonna bring authorities for me cleaning up your restaurant. I know you didn't ask of me, but you were going to be shut down indefinitely and not make no money ever again at this location.
Try to help you out.
I'm sorry?
No, not the toes.
All right, let's push this back. Come on, let's finish up. Let's push this back. No, I'm not to go. Group 7 just might be the secret society that we need. I just seen a video where someone used Group 7 to get out of a drinking and driving ticket. Well, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to this.
That's funny. I want to search the car. Okay. No, listen. I'm already finished. I want to search the car.
Listen.
Yeah, but let me. There's an odor. Yeah, no, I get it. But what I'm saying is,
listen.
What? I'm in Group 7. What? I said I was in Group 7. Hold on 1 second. Group 7.
No, he's about to get out of this.
What group did you say? Yeah, 7.
Listen.
Hey, brother, I'm sorry about the misunderstanding, all right? You have a good night, okay?
Now, I know what somebody's going to say. Somebody is going to say that video was a skit. And it might be. But what got me was the fact that, tell me what cops you know take risks in doing skits like that. Tell me that. Group 7 just took this shit to a whole different level. If you go down that Group 7 rabbit hole, you will see how many Group 7s there are. You will see how many views that got. You will see how many interactions that got. There are a lot of people in Group 7. It's a lot of us. And if everybody in Group 7 sticks together, do you know what we can do? Let everybody in Group 7 know that Group 7 is the biggest thing on this planet. That man was visibly drunk, and they let him go. Just remember this, we can use Group 7 to our advantage. I'm out.
What happened to the 6'7" kid? Like the video, or he'll visit you at night. The 6'7" kid was a regular high school student, but one day he went crazy when the teacher asked what 6 times 7 was during math class. He was locked in an asylum, but he managed to escape and started spreading the 6'7" insanity. Now the entire world is repeating this meme. Comment 6'7" to stop 6'7" kid. Who the hell?
The 6'7" kid, bro, can't be stopped. I gotta say 6'7", bro.
Created 6'7", like the video, or you'll only say 6'7" forever. There was once a genius mathematician. He would solve math equations all day and night, but one day he went crazy and started mysteriously writing down the numbers 6 and 7. He went outside and started screaming the numbers and laughing, infecting others with his laugh. Now everyone is repeating the numbers 6 and 7, but the genius mathematician has disappeared, and no one knows the origin of this meme. Comment 6'7" if you know the 6'7" meme. Who the hell is 6'7" kid? Like this video, or he will shout 6'7" at you. One day there was a kid who really loved playing basketball. He was playing it all the time. However, he was shorter than everyone else. He would always lose, which made him sad. But then he got an idea. Every time he played against someone who was 6'7", he would shout 6'7". It worked. Now he scores every time. Comment 6'7".
It's not a good thing that Bill Gates is disinterested in the water.
Bill Gates is very interested in your water while everyone's distracted with indictments and celebrity BS. Bill Gates, BlackRock, and Nestle just quietly teamed up. Yes, Nestle. Same company whose chairman literally said water isn't a human right. And
Not a
now
human
they're
right.
making moves to own it. This isn't speculation. It's already happening. Gates is buying up farmland that sits on major aquifers. BlackRock is pouring billions into water infrastructure. And Nestle still extracting millions of gallons while local communities run dry. They're not just buying land, they're buying access to rivers, lakes, groundwater. They're investing in the tech to monitor, track, and reroute where water flows and who gets it. This isn't about conservation. This is about control. Food already controls people, but water controls everything. You can live without oil. You can survive without power. But water, you've got days. They already run agriculture, finance, and energy. Now they want to own survival itself, and no one's stopping them.
How insane is this? This is going to sound a little cliche, but one day they will charge us for the air we breathe. As always, stay weird.
I'm in China. That's actually insane, man. All those big companies teaming up to get to own water. I don't think that's gonna end well, bro. And with him saying how one day they're gonna charge us for freaking air, the air we breathe. Didn't happen in that movie, The Lorax. Like I said, man, if they be putting in these pieces of media, you just gotta pick up on the messages.
And they have robotic legs. Now he's wrapping it around my kneecaps. Something's happening with the legs. Okay. What? Okay, what am I doing? What? Okay. Okay.
Start to walk. Walking normally.
Okay, I'm walking normally. Whoa! Oh my gosh! It's like moving for me.
Come on.
Now?
Sure.
Now I can go.
No.
The robot is like, I'm putting no effort into running, and I'm like running so good.
You can change the power.
Yeah, can we put like maximum power? Move by itself. Okay. Oh, it's moving for me. I'm not walking. I am not walking. This is literally the future.
First bird to ever testify in court. On May 13, 2015, police arrive at a home near Sand Lake, Michigan. Inside, they find the bodies of Marty and Glenna Durham. Marty had been shot 5 times, and Glenna was shot twice in the head but survived. After making a full recovery, Glenna told police that somebody had broken into their home before shooting them and fleeing. Marty's 3 children were going through things inside of his home when they found a manila envelope. Just a couple weeks before Marty's death, he received a phone call from a family member. The family member told him he had seen Marty's home in the foreclosure section of the newspaper. Marty had no idea about this, as Glenna was the one that took over the bills, and she hid from him that they were facing foreclosure. That is, until Marty's parrot began reenacting the crime scene. The new owner noticed him arguing in 2 different voices, and the last thing he said was, and Marty's parrot was the key witness.
This is one of the scariest catfishing cases I have ever heard of, and if you have kids that are online, you should listen to this. This is Austin Lee Edwards, a Virginia cop who catfished a 15-year-old girl online before murdering her family and abducting her. Austin posed online as a 17-year-old boy and was trying to sexually extort the 15-year-old girl. But once he asked for a nude photo of her, she stopped all communication with him. On November 25th, Austin drove from Virginia, where he lived, to the girl's home in Riverside, California, and murdered her mom and grandparents before setting the house on fire. He then kidnapped the girl. While trying to flee, thankfully the girl was found physically uninjured, but the trauma she now has to face is horrendous. What's absolutely crazy to me is that prior to this, Austin was a cop with the Virginia State Police. Upon being hired there, he disclosed in his application that in 2016, he voluntarily checked himself into a mental health facility to receive treatment. And without looking into it at all, the Virginia State Police hired him anyway. But what they didn't know was that Austin was completely lying to them. It wasn't voluntary at all. In fact, in 2016, he was actually the VSP has since stated that they were not aware of this, but if they were, they would not have hired him. To top it off, Austin had quit the VSP in late October, and right before the murders, he was hired as a deputy with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And according to them, they contacted the VSP during Austin's hiring process, and they mentioned none of that. Both departments have since stated that there was no indication that Austin would do this. There were so many opportunities for this to possibly have been stopped, but it wasn't. So please be careful and remember this story if you have kids that are online. You just really never know.
Would you kill your best friend for $9 million? In 2019, Denali Brimmer met a millionaire online named Tyler who offered her $9 million in exchange for evidence of her killing someone. Denali, who was 18 at the time, recruited 4 other teens to help her lure her friend Cynthia Hoffman to Thunderbird Falls in Alaska. Under the guise of a hiking trip, they then shot her in the back of the head and dumped her body in the river. She sent photos and videos of the crime but never received any money. That's because Tyler never existed. His real name was Darren Chill Miller, a 21-year-old from Indiana. He then blackmailed Denali into sexually assaulting young girls, which led to her arrest and the discovery of evidence on her phone linking her to Cynthia's murder. On February 15th, she pled guilty to first-degree murder and now faces up to 99 years in prison.
This could easily be one of the most haunting Polaroids I think I've ever seen. Now, the Polaroid was captured and then later developed after Jonah Sullivan went missing. It didn't take long for investigators, once they developed it, to realize the same thing that you're probably realizing. There's something in this picture. But before we get into it, if you are a fan of all things chilling, mysterious, and unexplained, please go check out my podcast, Creep Time the Podcast. Go click the link in my bio and you can listen on Spotify or Apple. Now, to preface where the picture came from, Jonah was actually an explorer, and he would typically explore abandoned buildings, one of them being the Gershwin Schoolhouse, which was abandoned in the late 70s and no one knew why, and he went in 1999. After he never came back, police went searching where they found the Polaroid camera, but not him. The final picture caught on the camera was eventually developed, which showed someone in the background near the desks. If you zoom into the picture, you would see that Jonah was not alone in that room. An attempt would be made to digitally enhance the picture, and this was the result.
And
of the
What was
scariest
that?
lockdown photos I have ever seen in my life. On April 16, 2010, in Newcastle High School, they went into a lockdown procedure. Somebody comes over the intercom and they say that there are reports of a dangerous individual who's inside the school. When this happens, Angela Germain just stays in place. She stays in the girls' bathroom and she ends up sending this blurry photo to her friend Kelly. And she's like, I've got to stay in here, oh my god. What she didn't realize was that when she sent that picture, in the dimmed emergency lights of that bathroom, she had captured the intruder who was hiding behind the end stall. But by the time her friend even notices the face and tells teachers and police and they get to the bathroom, Angela was found stabbed more than 15 times, having later succumbed to those injuries. Because of Angela's final photo and 2 other witnesses in the school, they do make a composite sketch, but they would never find this person. The only thing that we have left is the final frame in her.
These are the scariest serial killers from each state, part 1. Up first is Nanny Doss from Alabama, also known as the Giggling Granny. She married 5 times and murdered 4 of her husbands, and the only one that survived was her first husband. She also poisoned 11 of her family members. Her first 2 victims were her children, who allegedly died from food poisoning. She got the nickname the Giggling Granny because she would always laugh at the crimes she committed. She killed 11 people and is definitely the scariest serial killer from Alabama.
Do you guys
Do that to your own kids? And the nickname, the Laughing Granny? Yeah. That sounds scary, for sure.
remember when that lady sued McDonald's because her coffee was too hot? The original Karen, if you will. Well, the actual story is actually really messed up. Stella Liebeck was an 81-year-old woman who pulled into a McDonald's drive-thru in Albuquerque to get coffee and other breakfast stuff with her grandson who was driving the car. He then pulled into a nearby parking lot so they could get all set up. The model of their car was too old to have cup holders, so Stella then put her coffee in between her thighs and removed the lid so that she could put sugar in. However, while doing this, the coffee then spilled onto her lap and Stella got extremely burned. And I'm not talking it was hot like it hurt her skin. She got legitimate 3rd-degree burns to her thighs, groin, and butt. She was wearing cotton sweatpants which fused to her skin, and then she had to be hospitalized for 8 days for skin grafting. After being released, she required in-home care for 3 weeks, as well as 2 years of physical rehabilitation and permanent disfigurement from the scarring. Yes, she knew her coffee was hot, but who would expect that it would be that dangerously hot? Naturally, Stella reached out to McDonald's to get them to pay for her medical bills, which were about $20,000. McDonald's then countered with just $800. Left with no other choice, Stella then hired a personal injury lawyer to sue McDonald's for compensation. During this injury lawsuit, they find out that McDonald's was requiring their stores to keep their coffee at a 180-degree Fahrenheit temperature. That is like scalding hot. It is close to boiling, which is 212, I think. Over the last 10 years, 700 customers had filed complaints against McDonald's in their customer service department about burns they received from their hot coffee. Stella won almost $3 million in her lawsuit, but sadly, this was not the end. Obviously, this looks bad for McDonald's, so then they retaliate by starting a PR campaign to paint Stella as the poster child for excessive lawsuits. Stella is ridiculed on late night shows, she becomes a pariah in Albuquerque, and she even has to move houses because the harassment is so bad. This poor 81-year-old woman. Stella died in August 2004, 10 years after the settlement was reached. Her daughter said that the injury occurring so late in her life, as well as the court proceedings and negative press against her, virtually destroyed her mother's quality of life. Rather than take ownership, they basically ruined this lady's life. And if you're wondering, no, McDonald's has not lowered the serving temperature of their coffee. Instead, they just have a lot more warnings telling you how hot it is, so then you can't file a lawsuit in case you get burned.
The Manson. Really? What the? I thought she won Justice won out. I'm thinking they would at least change the coffee temperature, right? I never even knew that. 180 degrees, like you said, that's scalding. Crazy amount of things corporations do to keep their money.
Family. Charles Manson wanted to join a cult, but after looking over a few of them, he realized that they were a little bit too corrupt and crazy for his liking. So Charles would recruit over 100 people to join a cult of his creation, and this cult would be called The Manson family. Things would start out rather normal for the cult until one day on August 8th, 1969, Charles would order 4 of his members to go to the Hollywood Hills and kill actress Sharon Tate. He directed his followers to do it in the most brutal way possible. Sharon Tate was actually the spouse of very well-known director Roman Polanski, and she was carrying his child at the time. The 4 would break into the house and murder her along with 4 other people that were nearby. But the madness didn't end there. The very next day, a grocery store worker and his wife would also be killed by the Manson family. But thankfully though, the madness would end there, because a few days later, Charles Manson, along with a few other members of the Manson family, would be arrested and sentenced to life in prison. It's a very wild case, but
this is the scariest video on the internet. This is Joseph DeAngelo Jr., who's also known as the original Night Stalker. He is an American serial killer who is also formerly a police officer who's been indicted on at least 13 murders, 120 robberies, and over 50 assaults on women. Listen how crazy this is. He would break into a house, tie the couple up, and he would take the male victim, put plates on top of the male victim, and would tell him that if any plate dropped that he would kill both of them. So now the male victim is laying down on his stomach, and obviously he's scared and shaking, so eventually one of the plates are gonna fall anyway. Even creepier than that, if he found a woman that he wanted to assault, he would call the home phone before and after the incident took place. And the video you are going to hear is exactly that. This is from one of the victim's answering machines in the 1980s. After listening to this, I can honestly say,
do you ever feel sometimes like you might be a witch? Or be a descendant of the Salem witches? If so, take this witch test and see.
Yes, you heard me right. During the Salem witch trials, there were witch tests that were given to the accused. If they failed, they were imprisoned or worse. One way they would see if you were a witch was the skin test, which wasn't much of a test. It just consisted of authorities looking over the accused to see if they had any moles, freckles, birthmarks, scars.
Back in the day, this was proof that you were a witch. Imagine being thrown in jail because you got a mole or a freckle. These people were unhinged.
Yeah. The next test was the prayer test, which accused were made to recite prayers or selection of scripture from memory. If they made any kind of error while they were reciting, or heaven forbid forgot a part of the scripture,
we got a witch on our hands.
Another terrifying exam was the swimming and dunking test. Accused witches were bound at the wrists and ankles and dropped into a body of water. If they floated, they were guilty. If they sank, they were innocent. But
obviously, no longer with us.
And I saved the worst for last, which was the witch cake test. This was where an accused witch was forced to bake a cake with her own urine in it, and then forced to feed it to a dog.
And if the dog had any adverse side effects after eating the cake, she was a witch. I told you. Unhinged. I can only speak for myself here, but I wouldn't pass. I got quite a few freckles, and I've been known to forget some scripture now and then. If you want to hear more about these tests and all about the Salem witch trials, check out the most recent Avery After Dark podcast episode. I cover it all, as well as some haunted spots in Salem. Do you think that you would pass the witch test?
So I found something on the internet that most people have not seen. This is the only known photo of Cherie Glenn. This is a leaked booking photo. It's from like back in the 80s when she was one of the most famous cannibals in the US before she was caught by police. The reason the photo was leaked is because at the time, her appearance was considered so disturbing for most people that it was decided that they would conceal her booking photo as well as her interrogation footage. Even the nature of her crimes is not public information. That was also sealed in the affidavit, as it was described as highly grotesque and complex. Even today, there's not much public information that's known about where she's being held, and that leaked photo is the only image that has ever been seen of one of America's most terrifying women.
Now that it's summertime, here are 3 of the scariest theme park accidents I've ever heard of. These stories are ordered to get more intense as it goes on, so if the first story is too much for you, then you probably don't want to stick around for the third. On June 21st, 2007, 13-year-old Caitlin Lassiter went to Six Flags of Kentucky. While she was here, she decided to go on the Superman drop ride. This is the kind of ride that lifts you up really high into the air and then it drops you down really fast. However, when their car got to the top, a cable snapped and became undone. This cable became wrapped around Caitlin's throat and feet. She was able to untangle the cord from around her neck, but she wasn't able to get to her feet before the ride dropped, and both of her feet were pulled off. They were able to attach one, but she did end up becoming an amputee. On June 2nd, 2015, the Smiler roller coaster in the UK was having several problems, and one of the test cars got stuck in the middle of the track. However, the employees hadn't communicated with each other that they had added a 5th car, so everyone thought there were 4. So when they saw all 4 cars at the station ready to go, they assumed that the test was done. They then loaded a car full of passengers and sent it down the track, not realizing that a car was already sitting stationary in the middle. The car with passengers inside rear-ended the empty car, resulting in serious injuries. The 2 girls that were sitting in the front of the car had to have their legs amputated, and the horror of this was all made worse because it took emergency services 4 to 5 hours to reach them as everybody was sitting mangled on this roller coaster. The Verrückt water slide was the world's tallest water slide in August 2016, where our 3rd accident happened. This water slide had an extremely steep drop and then a hill, and 3 people would sit in each boat. The owner of the water park had actually self-insured this slide because it was too dangerous for any insurance company to take on. In August 2016, Caleb Schwab went to the water park with his family, and the very first ride he wanted to go on was Verrückt. Caleb sat in the front and was too lightweight to weigh it down, so the ride went airborne. Then everyone watched in horror as the front of the slide impacted the metal safety railing that arched over the top of the slide. He flew out of the raft but hit the netting so hard that he was, It was quick for Caleb, but not for the crowd, as they then had to watch the boat finish the ride as the water began to run red. A guest at the park physically restrained Caleb's mom so she couldn't walk over and see what happened. So the last image she has of her son is excited to go on the ride and stepping into the line.
See, that's why sometimes I'd be skeptical. I'm not a big roller coaster person, see, because I just don't trust those machines.
Tonight, a mystery deepening in Nevada with human remains discovered at Lake Mead 4 times since May. A body in a barrel.
We're here finally tonight at Lake Mead. Lots of murders in this area. Hundreds of bodies in the lake.
These people who are searching for whatever they're searching for are like looking in the water for something.
What?
They pretend like,
Kill!
Is there a body that you want us to find?
Go right.
No! We were literally just talking about
these.
We're about to find a body.
Someone's out here at all
No! Dude, they were hunting us down.
This abandoned asylum housed one of the most criminally insane serial killers in New England. Welcome to Connecticut Valley Hospital in Middletown, Connecticut. Opened in 1868, this was originally called the Connecticut General Hospital for the Insane. At its peak, the hospital housed 3,200 patients. Many patients here were subjected to extreme abuse and neglect, such as patients ingesting batteries, razors, and paper clips. One patient inserted pens into himself. But we're here to talk about murderer Amy Archer Gilligan. She was a nursing home proprietor and serial killer from Windsor, Connecticut. In 1919, she was charged guilty of murdering at least 5 people by poisoning them. One of her victims was her second husband, Michael. The others were residents of her nursing home. Studies and newfound evidence shows that she may have killed up to 60 people for life insurance money. She remained here until her death in 1962.
I can confidently tell you that this is one of the scariest places that I've ever been in my life. This is John Lowe. In 2014, he was 82 years old, and he shot and killed his partner and her daughter at his house in England. The house is known as the Keeper's Cottage Stud, and it was actually a puppy farm because John Lowe was a puppy farmer. After John murdered his partner and her daughter, apparently he told the police that they had been, quote, giving him shit all day, and he also told them that they needed to be put down. This is an incredibly disturbing story, and John Lowe actually died in prison a couple of years ago. But what happened to the house? Well, after the murders and the convictions and everything, the house became abandoned. The house itself was tucked way back into a forest in England down a long dark road, and back in 2019 I got to pay it a visit. Now, just telling you guys that this place was creepy doesn't do it justice, because this was definitely the heaviest feeling location I've ever visited as an urban explorer and paranormal investigator. I mean, the entire place was abandoned. All of the family's personal belongings were still in the home. There were shotgun shells that we found in the area. This is a picture that my friend Andrew and I took on the property at the time when we were filming our paranormal investigation. And we didn't know it at the time, but later we found out that this was John Lowe, the murderer's personal van. Now, inside of the house, while we were investigating, we had so many bizarre things happen. Electromagnetic spikes, there's no power there, obviously. We had a mirror fall off the wall downstairs while we were upstairs. And the whole time we were hearing noises and we just felt like we were being watched. But that is not the reason why this place was so terrifying. While we were leaving and we took this photo, we were remarking how the woods around the house are just so creepy. It seemed like there could be a killer out there right then and there. And this is the craziest part. So we're walking back to our car. It's a long walk through the woods, like a 10-15 minute walk. And right when we get back to the car, keep in mind we're way deep in the forest, we see a flashlight in the woods that we had just come from, like the area where the murder house is. And my friend Andrew points at the flashlight and says, it looks like that person's running, because the flashlight was going like this. And as we watched it, the light began to grow and we realized that somebody had followed us through the forest and was literally running at us at full speed. In the video, it was like something out of a horror movie. We hopped in the car quick. Everybody was screaming. There were 4 people with us. And my friend Andrew tried to floor it, like floor his car, and he went forward a little bit and he hit a log in the road. I'm not even shitting you. And so he's sitting there going, and we're all like, dude, you gotta go, you gotta go. And he's like, I can't move the damn car. We're like freaking out. And the flashlight guy is literally running at us at full speed. We can see him through the back window of the car. And just as the guy is about to reach our vehicle, he gets off the log and we speed off down the road. This was all captured on camera. It was just terrifying. But I actually just found out that they demolished this house a little while ago. Good riddance to it. That was an evil place. So much darkness there. But I just thought I would share the story because
I gotta check that out. Who was chasing them through the woods? And they lucky the log moved in time. And it was gone. That could have ended differently. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video. Comment down below. Hit that post notification bell, man. Tell me what you guys think of these clips I watch together with you guys. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.